guys, M13 here. I am riding with Donnie, which is a rarity, since he doesn't own a motorcycle, but he rented one. It was actually my idea, so I hope he doesn't crash, because then he could say, you know, I phoned him up last night, and I'm like, hey Donnie, I'm gonna go ride tomorrow, why don't you rent a bike and come with me? And I didn't expect him to say yes, but he's like, okay. So he went by a bike rental shop and he rented a bike, and now we're riding. Do you like his cankles? He's got beautiful cankles. Okay, this is ridiculous. Understand riding in a group is slower than... So, hey, Donnie, you there? You listening to my freaking vlog? Sneaky. I'm making a video. So yeah, it's interesting too, because me and Donnie were discussing the fact that it's actually theoretically it might be cheaper to rent a motorcycle on a regular basis than to own one, because you got, especially when you can factor in things like insurance. Insurance isn't much in Taiwan. It's only about $300 a year, but it still adds up. And then tires, and then oil changes. Tires are the biggest one for me. Whoa! That thing looked... It's fucking 3 feet wide tire on the back of that thing. He's got like dealer plates on it. I'm gonna catch up with that guy. I want to check out that Ducati, the dealer plates on it. So, so tires for me, I spend up to anywhere from $900 and up a year on tires. So now we're at, between my license plate and tires, we're at like $1,200. Oil changes would be another 100 or 2. So $1,500, yeah. And then to rent a bike, it only costs about $100. So if I spend $1,500 a year just on oil, tires, and license plate, that means I could rent a motorcycle once a month, every month, and then still have $300 left over for an extra, you know, maybe a couple, you know, twice a month here, twice a month there, once a month here, you know. So once or twice a month for the entire year, I could rent a motorcycle, and it would still be cheaper than tires, oil, and license plate. And then there's there's additional costs on top of that, changing the clutch, changing this, changing that whenever it's needed. So yeah, and we're not factoring in gasoline, because on a rental you pay for gas as well. But wow. He gave you $500 back, and then he was supposed to give me a kickback on top of that. There's a car in the ditch on the right. Did you fart, Donnie? Cars are turning left. So yeah, so it's kind of crazy, but like on paper, it actually makes more sense not to own a motorcycle, especially considering the fact, like if you go in the winter, if you don't ride much. How do I hang up on him? If in the winter you don't ride much, then it makes even more sense to do the rental thing, right? Like maybe the winter months here are rains a lot, so I don't ride. Maybe it might be 2 months and I ride once, so I can take that one ride that I didn't do and then move it to the summer, and then I'm riding 2-3 times a month in the summer. It's kind of crazy. Like, the only real advantage to owning is just the fact that you can be an expert. Like, you just the comfort of being on a bike that you trust and you know what's been done to it. With a rental bike, it might have been crashed before, it might have this or that, you don't really know, you know, and then you can like maintain it how you want, and then plus, if you're always riding on this same motorcycle, you can get a feel for it, you can improve or whatnot. But if you're riding rentals, and every time you get on every time you get a different rental, it'll feel different than the last time you rode, so you gotta go to recustomize yourself, and that's time that could be spent improving instead of familiarizing. But then, you know, there's other ways. But then you could just rent the same bike every time. Like, you find a bike that you like, and then just rent that one each time you go to the rental shop, and then that would negate that negativity. It's kind of crazy because in the past, you know, I had a CBR 600RR, and I couldn't really afford the payments on it. I was paying like $700 a month, or no, 500 a month. And then on top of that, there's tires and then insurance and stuff like that. And it's just like, and some months I wouldn't even ride it. And it's just like, you know, I'm paying $500 and I'm paying for this and that. And it's just like, and I barely even. So I ended up selling it mostly because I couldn't afford it. That guy's, he's on a big bike. So what happened to that Ducati I wanted to keep up with? Yeah, evidently. Well, I got caught behind these guys. That's my excuse. And I was vlogging. Yeah, the guy that just passed us in the FY, he was going pretty hard there. All right, that's the end of this video. Yeah, it's if you do the math, it might actually make more sense to rent than to buy, which is kind of insane. And then I guess another negative is you wouldn't be able to customize. But the crazy thing is the bikes at the rental shop that Donnie went to, a lot of those are like a lot of aftermarket shit on them. They're pretty customized to begin with, so if you want the fun of like riding a nice customized bike, rental can still do that, and then you can rent a different bike, so, you know, every other week if you wanted to, and then you'd have a whole new cool new experience. Like, even though I own a motorcycle, I was thinking about it might be fun just to rent one, just to ride something different for a day. It's kind of crazy.